Fortress 2 Sniper's Eye stars Bruce Willis and Chad Michael Murray in the sequel to the 2021 first film, Fortress. Now, I'm actually someone who enjoyed the first Fortress film. I don't think it's a great movie by any means. I don't even think it's all that good of an action movie. But for what it was and for what it is, I enjoyed Fortress. I think it's a fun little action film. I thought the film had some fun and thrilling action sequences. Bruce Willis actually looked like he was trying in that film. It actually looked like he was giving an effort. He actually had an integral part in the main story. He got involved in some of the action in that film, which is very rare for Bruce Willis films nowadays, since like most of the time he shows up on set for like a day. He's in the movie for 5 to 10 minutes and then he gets a paycheck at the end of the day. And that's what Bruce Willis's career has been for the last 10 to 15 years. And he actually had a decent amount of screen time in the first film, which I really like. Like, it's not one of his best films. Like, I think he's definitely been in better films, but for a Bruce Willis film, like, on the market, like, I thought he did a pretty good job in that movie. And Chad Michael Murray, I thought, was exceptional as the villain, and I thought the direction was competent in the first film. And I thought for the budget that Fortress had, it doesn't have the biggest budget of all time, but for what they were able to pull off in the action sequences, I thought it was believable enough. And now jumping to Fortress 2 Sniper's Eye. This was a movie I was really looking forward to. Like, we had Chad Michael Murray coming back to reprise his role as a villain. We had Bruce Willis playing Robert again, and we had a different director in the director's chair this time, which I was hoping would bring some new life to the Fortress series of films. Because James Cullen, I thought, did a really good job at making the first film, and yeah, they probably should have just stuck with James Cullen directing, because this film captures none of the charm nor fun of the first Fortress. And if James Cullen directed this one, I can promise you that this film, it may have not been good, but it would have been entertaining. And like, that's the thing, is I wasn't going into Fortress 2, expecting Shakespeare. I was just going to this movie like expecting to be entertained. I wasn't even expecting like a good movie, but I just wanted to be entertained with a fun action film. And for an action film, this film fails in the action sequences. Like, this is some of the worst action ever helmed on screen. This is some of the worst action I've seen in years, because the action in this film is cut and choreographed to such shit. Because every action scene is shaken around like this. Like, there's no, you can't clear out what is happening in the action scenes. You can't clear out who threw the first punch or who threw the first kick. It's because the camera shakes around so fucking much that it's annoying, because every action scene in this film is like that. And it makes me think that, did this film actually have a choreographing team like on set when they're making this movie? Because the action scenes say otherwise. Because this film honestly it looks like they had no idea how to choreograph the action in this film, and it shows the execution. Like, there's one okay action set piece in this film, and it's this motorcycle chase that goes down in the film, but even that is like really shaky. But that was, at least there was some enjoyment in that sequence. It doesn't last long, but yeah, take that as it is. Okay, so as an action film, this film fails. This is one of the worst action movies I've ever seen. This film also the creative choices behind this film, because this film there's some really odd choices that they made when editing this film and when doing the sound mixing for this film, because there's some really weird slow motion. Like there's this big moment at the end that Bruce Willis gets, and it's in slow mo, and it's just like it doesn't make sense. Like slow mo, it's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be there unless they're trying to hide an era, and that's the best take that they had. I don't know what happened, but yeah, this film has an odd amount of slow motion, and it's unnecessary. And the editing in the film it's really off at a lot of points throughout the film. Um, yeah, I can't explain what went on in the making of this film, but anyway, it makes sense to me is that they were trying to hide an era, and this was the best take that they had of Bruce Willis or the other actors. Speaking of that, the acting in this movie, oh god, uh, I enjoyed I enjoyed the acting in the first film, but in here the acting is insufferable. Like nobody is giving a good performance in here. Everybody, like the way that they deliver their lines is just awful. Nobody's really watchable in this film. The only actor I can say that's a positive, and the biggest positive I can give this film is Chad Michael Murray. Like he's a mixed aspect, because when his character like shows up, like it's supposed to be this big moment, but there's no build up. There's no build up. His character just kind of walks into a room, and there's no like big reveal, music. It's just he walks into a room. Oh shit, it's Chad Michael Murray. Hey man, how you doing? Like that's literally what his comeback in this film is like.